In a small town, there was a long winding street where the houses were close but the people were distant. The neighbors kept to themselves, their doors shut tight, their lives quiet. Everyone believed it was best this way, less trouble, less involvement, less risk. At the far end of the street lived Mara, a seamstress known for her fine stitching and steady hands. One evening, as she worked by the light of her old lantern, the flame flickered and died. She had no spare oil, and the shops were already closed. Mara stepped out onto her porch, holding her empty lantern. She looked down the street where faint lights glimmered in her neighbors' windows. The thought of knocking on someone's door made her stomach tighten. She couldn't remember the last time she'd spoken to any of them, but she had no choice, lantern in hand. She walked to the nearest house and knocked. The door opened, and an elderly man peeked out. "I'm sorry to bother you," Mara said. "My lantern's gone out and I need some oil. Do you have any to spare?" The man hesitated, then nodded. "Wait here." He returned with a small bottle of oil and handed it to her. "Thank you," Mara said. "I'll return it tomorrow." "Don't worry about it," the man said. "Just light your way." As Mara walked home, she passed another house and noticed the porch was dark. She paused, then knocked. A young woman opened the door, cradling a crying baby. "Your porch light is out," Mara said. "Do you need oil?" The woman sighed. "I ran out this morning and haven't had time to get more." Mara held out the bottle. "Here, take some, I have enough." The woman's eyes widened. "Really? Thank you so much." The next day, Mara returned to the elderly man's house with a freshly sewn scarf as thanks for his kindness. She noticed his front steps were cracked and uneven. "Have these been like this for long?" Mara asked. The man nodded. "I've been meaning to fix them, but it's hard on my knees." Later that afternoon, Mara gathered some wood and tools. As she worked on the steps, the young woman with the baby walked by. "Do you need help?" she asked, balancing her child on her hip. Together they repaired the steps. When they finished, the man smiled for the first time in years. Word spread quickly down the street. The neighbors began stepping outside their doors, curious about the commotion. Soon, they were fixing fences, planting gardens, and sharing meals. What started as a single bottle of oil became a network of shared tools, skills, and care. One evening, as the street buzzed with laughter and conversation, Mara stood on her porch and lit her lantern. She looked down the street where every house now glowed with light. The darkness that had once seemed so heavy was gone, replaced by a warmth she hadn't known was possible. Years later, when visitors came to the town, they marveled at its vibrant community. They asked the neighbors what changed. How did this all begin? And the neighbors would point to Mara and say it started with her lantern.